Thanks so much for tuning into the Trade Setup with me, Niraj Shah. Did you know, and I borrowed this from the CLSA note, which has been doing the rounds all over the weekend for its India bullishness, but this particular statistic, CLSA assumes and estimates that there are nearly 100 million empty housing units in China, of which 26 million unsold housing starts sitting with developers, and 74 million units have been purchased as investment properties which are lying vacant without fixtures and fittings. Telling statistic of what China has done over the years and how the near-term property boom might be, well, a mirage, if you will, or property revival might be a mirage, if you will. Who knows, actually. But here's the global news flow. The 10-year yield jumped as Jerome Powell said the Fed is not in a hurry to keep cutting rates. Asian markets have mostly fallen post Nasdaq pullback on Friday and yields uptick. Brent, though, is on the downside, nearing $70 per barrel again as looming surplus has depressed the market. And in an olive branch to the US, Xi Jinping has said he will work with Donald Trump in last meeting with Joe Biden. So, and of course, set some warnings as well. Don't cross the red line, don't go to Taiwan, so on and so forth. But effectively expressed that he is willing to work with Donald Trump closely. Like I said, Nasdaq cracked 2.5% lower. Futures, though Dow futures are marginally in the green. Asia mostly is in the red, though China seems to be doing okay because of some measures done over the weekend. And I'll talk about that in a moment from now. Our markets, the implied open, about 87 points lower. So in on around 50 and 100 points on the downside may very well be likely the case. Now, what's the trade setup for the day? You know, I mean, the markets, are they oversold? Yes, they look oversold, but there's no major reversal pattern that is visible as yet. That is the problem. However, I do believe that chosen well, longs may result in short-term gains, not on the Nifty necessarily, but specific pockets, because if an oversold market bounces back, it will carry some of the tides along with it. Now, remember, it's nearly been impossible to predict the market. I'm not trying to predict the market at all. Nobody knows. I don't think anybody knows because nobody's been able to call this. All I'm saying is that it does look a bit oversold, and with everything looking, I mean, the valuations having come to what they are, etc., there might be some tactical long gains that might come into play. Maybe not now, but maybe in December. Let's wait and watch. Base metal stocks today will soar though. I would watch out for Hindalco, Nalco, Vedanta, and I'll tell you why in a moment, but that's a bucket that you want to keep an eye out for as well. The user industry stocks though may get impacted, the likes of autos, packaging, etc. And CLSA has come out with a note, that's what I was saying over the weekend, and very constructive note on India. They say that India benefits from appreciable moat should the trade hostilities heat up between US and China and the rest of the world. India, they say, is the least exposed of the regional markets to Donald Trump's adverse trade policy. Their words, not mine. They say India may offer relative oasis of FX stability if oil prices remain stable. Lastly, they say valuation, even though pricey, is a little more palatable. And of course, they've written about how the domestic flows also help meaningfully. Let's now go to stocks. And the first one on my list is Fusion Micro. This one will see a slam dunk today. Lenders decline waiver of immediate repayment. Waiver of immediate repayment has been declined, and the negotiations have failed. No 12-month repayment relief for Fusion Micro, as a result of which, in the notes to accounts, the company and the auditors themselves have said that there is material uncertainty looming over business viability and significant downcast on going concern status. This is very bad news, and the stock will correct in the session today for sure. The risk is that the company may struggle to meet liabilities, and of course the results weren't the best either, because the reported GNPA was 9.4% as of September 2024. I think this is what resulted in the auditor's comments as a trigger maybe, but watch out, this one will start off lower. Gas stocks may start off lower, IGL, MGL, and Adani Total Gas, because in the domestic gas allocation from GAIL has been cut. So IGL has seen a 20% cut, MGL has seen an 18% cut, Adani Total Gas has seen a 13% cut. Now, this follows ONGC's 21% cut in October 2024, and the one in the eye of the storm mainly is IGL, because calculations show IGL will now only receive 2.4 MMSCMD of APM gas. Suffice to say, all of these stocks could see a bit of a pullback, especially IGL, so keep an eye out for this one. Then Hindalco, Nalco, Vedanta might be positive today because aluminum prices have jumped over 8% on Friday. Why has this happened? Because China has scrapped the export tax rebate on aluminum and copper products, and as a result of which The move is, of course, to reduce the Chinese aluminum exports and therefore potentially tighten global supply. It will potentially tighten global supply. Remember, export tax rebates are the Chinese government subsidies that reduce tax burden on Chinese exporters. Because they have been gone away, Chinese exporters will not export as much, so global aluminum supply will tighten, as a result of which prices have moved up, and as a result of which Hindalco, Nalco, Vedanta will see a bit of a flare up today. Okay, let's move on very quickly. Auto and packaging may actually see a bit of a downtick, right, because of this aluminum price uptick. So watch out for both of these sectors in the session today, maybe a sentimental negative. Reliance Power has received a show cause notice from SECI. SECI says that the notice is for allegedly submitting a fake bank guarantee by a subsidiary. They say the subsidiary provided a bank guarantee issued by a Manila branch of First Trend Bank. Their conversation with First Trend suggests there is no such branch only. Quite crazy, really. Let's see if this one has a bit of a reaction in the session today. So I'll watch out for this. Hinzing might have a positive reaction. The composite license for gold mining block in Rajasthan via state government auctions. Gold mining license is big. Let's see if Hindustan Zinc reacts positively today. Honasa will see a downtick today. Revenues down, EBITDA loss versus an estimated gain. PAT loss versus an estimated gain is a bit of a surprise, the result. The commentary isn't positive either. This one will see a downtick in the session today for sure. Encare has reduced the target from 600 to 300. 50% gash in targets. Can you imagine that? And therefore, watch out for this one. Grasim, the results were okay, I thought. Revenues were up 11%. The margin though cracked, as a result of which the bottom line really cracked lower. So watch out, maybe a bit of a negative reaction for this one too in the session today. Delivery, the numbers on the revenue front seemed okay, but bottom line and margins were weak. However, brokerages have compared it YOY and said that the numbers look good, the commentary looks good. So maybe delivery, I'm not quite sure how this one will react today. So keep an eye out for that one. Ahluwalia, revenues up 12.19%. Let's breeze through now. EBITDA margin though down, and as a result of which the net profit has looked weak. Maybe this one corrects negatively in the session today. Ratnamani Metals, again, revenues down, margins wobbly, profit wobbly. So therefore, this one too will likely correct in the session today. Are there some good news? Let's just very quickly see a couple of them. Hero MotoCorp, the numbers look okay. Margins better than estimated, or in line with estimated. Net profit marginally higher than estimated. So very likely will react positively. Last but not the least, Avanti Feeds. Good numbers, revenues up, margin up, bottom line up, so did very well. I'll just wrap up with the Morgan Stanley note on Zomato. That's the last one that I want to see. I mean, this is the big one. Morgan Stanley raised the target price to 355, and they say there are multiple reasons, including the rising quick commerce share, which has not been factored in by the market, which may result in this stock doing well. So keep an eye out for this one. Thanks so much for tuning in today.